Let's now discuss the power in AC circuits there. Okay, so now till this we have seen in different circuit we have found out the equation of current. We know the impedance and we know the phase difference between the voltage and current. Okay, so say to a circuit, voltage AC voltage source is being connected, that is being given by V is equal to V naught sine omega t, and because of this voltage source, the current flowing in this circuit is being given by the equation I is equal to I naught sine omega t plus theta. It can be minus theta also, we are just generalizing it, and where theta is simply you say is the phase difference between the voltage and current in that particular circuit there. Is it clear? So instantaneous power की अगर हम बात करें, instantaneous power at any instant. So if we talk about the instantaneous power, then the instantaneous power is simply given by the product of the instantaneous voltage multiplied by instantaneous voltage and the instantaneous current there. So if you substitute this thing, then the instantaneous power, that is at any instant, the power is simply given by V. V is V naught sine omega t into I is given by I naught sine omega t plus theta there. Okay, so if you will just simplify it, then V naught into I naught into sine omega t, open this, so that will be simply sine A plus B is sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. So sine omega t into cos theta plus cos omega t into sine theta. Okay, just let us simplify it. So instantaneous power in the circuit will be simply given by V naught into I naught. Just multiply this with this, so that's simply cos theta into sine square omega t plus sine omega t into cos omega t. Sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta into cos theta. So sine theta into cos theta is sine 2 theta by 2. So it's sine 2 omega t by 2 into sine theta. So this is the expression basically for instantaneous power. At any instant we can simply find out the power there developed in the circuit. I want to find out the average power for one complete cycle. The average power for one complete cycle there. Okay, so here if we see the terms which carries time, because we have to take the average of those terms, average of the expression over the time only. For one complete cycle means for one complete time period, that is from 0 to capital T. So we have only two terms here which carries time, that one is the sine square omega t and the other is sine 2 omega t. Okay, so I know very well that the average value for, already we have done for any sine square function for one complete value, already I told you is half. For any sine square or cos square function, that we have done while doing the RMS value there, I told you. So any sine square function or cos square function will have always the average value to be half, and the sine function, simply sine function, will have the average value to be equal to 0 for one complete cycle, because जितना आपको पॉजिटिव में मिलेगा उतना ही आपको नेगेटिव में मिलेगा. So this average power consumed in one complete cycle in AC circuit is simply being given by P average will be V naught into I naught. That becomes half, so this and this is 0, the complete thing becomes 0, so it is simply cos theta by 2. That's cos theta, and the average value for sine square omega t is half, so it's half there. Or simplifying it more, I can write this thing as V naught by root 2 into I naught by root 2 into cos theta there, or the average power consumed. Simply get, what is V naught by root 2? We know it's V RMS into, what is I naught by root 2 is I RMS into cos theta there. The theta, you know, is the phase difference between the voltage and current, and that is being decided by the value of the impedance and all other factors there. Say for a LR circuit, what is this theta is, tan theta is simply XL by R. For a CR circuit, it is XC by tan theta is XC by R. Okay, for a LCR circuit, we have found out tan theta will be XL minus XC by R. Yeah, XC minus XL by R. Okay, so the average power consumed in one complete cycle of AC circuit, that depends on the phase difference between the voltage and current also there. Say in DC circuit, they are in same phase, so we have simply the formula, say theta will be 0 there for DC circuit, so cos 0 1 ho gaya. So in that case, the power will be simply given by what V DC into IDC, and you know very well that RMS values are what the DC equivalent of an AC source there. So but here the average power consumed, that also depends for one complete cycle, will depend upon the phase difference between the voltage and current in that circuit there. This whole cos theta is called power factor. It's called power factor of the circuit there. That's the AC power factor of the circuit. So this is the expression for the average power consumed in one complete cycle of AC circuit. If we have only a capacitor or an inductor, if we have only a capacitor and an inductor connected to an AC source, is it clear? Completely an inductor, okay, connected to an AC source, or a capacitor connected to an AC source. In both these circuits, you will find it out that theta is pi by 2 between the voltage and current. So in that case, this cos theta will be 0, the power factor will be 0, and the average power consumed will be 0 in both these circuits there. Okay, the average power consumed, that means no energy will be, for an ideal capacitor or an ideal inductor, no energy is being dissipated in form of heat there. So the average power consumed for one complete cycle by an ideal inductor or an ideal capacitor when connected to an AC source is 0. Such a current, AC current, flowing through the ideal capacitor or an ideal inductor when connected to an AC source, that's called wattless current, because the average power consumed for one complete cycle is 0 there. So that's called the wattless current there. No energy is being dissipated over the one complete cycle, and we will explain it. Okay, we will simply explain it, because see, what will happen is that if you take discuss about a capacitor, then if you take one complete cycle of AC, then for certain time interval it will be charged, and in the next one it will be discharged. So what energy you have given in charging, the energy will be given back by this capacitor while discharging. Then in the other cycle it will be charged, and in the polarities are being reversed, and the same way for the half of the time of half cycle it will be charged, and then for the another half of the half cycle it will be discharged. So what energy you have given, what energy the source has given, that is being given back by the capacitor while discharging. Similarly, that we will do it by equations later on in the next class. Similarly, in the case of inductor also, when you have the current to be something like this, is it clear? That's the current. When the current is increasing, it will oppose that increase in current, so the work has to be done by this source there. And when the current is decreasing, so that energy is being given doing the work in order to establish the current. When the current is decreasing, then same energy, the same work done which we have done, that will be stored up as the magnetic energy in the inductor, that is again being released in order to aid the decreasing current. So and again, what energy is being supplied by the source is being given back in this 1/4 of the cycle by this inductor. Again, the same thing will happen in this half cycle. Is it clear? Again, the current will increase in the other direction. It will oppose, the source has to do work, and that work done will be stored up as the magnetic energy in the inductor. And when the same current will decrease, again the inductor will aid that decreasing current by releasing the energy stored in form of magnetic field inside it. So this is power in AC circuit, and that's what will happen in the ideal inductor and ideal capacitor.